Can you see the diagram?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you have a rotating rod. You have an angular velocity omega, angular acceleration alpha. You want to find acceleration of point G. So acceleration of point G becomes omega cross O2G. Now omega is omega k. Omega is the magnitude of angular velocity. It's a counterclockwise rotating vector. So it is pointing in positive z direction. We call it omega k. O2G is a vector from point O2 to point G. And this is just length of the bar is suppose L by 2 I. So one thing is velocity of point G. What is velocity of point G? Omega cross R. And R is omega cross O2G. So you will get omega k cross L2I. This is omega L2, L by 2. K cross I is J. So this is velocity of point G. What is normal acceleration of point G? A normal, point G. That is, this is A normal. Acceleration normal of the centroid. So you will get omega k cross this velocity, omega cross R, omega L by 2 J. So you what you get omega square L by 2. K cross J is minus I. So you see your acceleration, normal acceleration is towards the center as you expected. Centripetal acceleration. What is your acceleration? Tangential
Sir, omega alpha
alpha
comma omega.
cross alpha is alpha k cross L by 2 I.
Right.
So you get alpha L by 2 k cross I is J. Now you know acceleration of point J. Normal as well as tangential. Both terms are known to you. Similarly, you can find acceleration of point A. Instead of L by 2, you have to use L, distance L. Now if you want to find, like, now you see there is a force acting on this rod. So what is causing the acceleration? Only external agency here is some force is coming from the support. Okay. As you neglect the weight of the bar. So what is the support force? So that force has to be given as mass into acceleration of the center of mass. So that is just you're providing the support. So you have to just find you have got already acceleration of the center of mass. You multiply with the mass of the rod. So that is the support force caused by the support onto this rod. So there is a force here on the hinge. It has got two components, Fx, Fy. And also you see there is an angular acceleration. Bar has a rod has an angular acceleration alpha. So you want to provide a move something must be there is some movement also here applied to the rod. You see support cannot cause a movement about point O two. Whatever are the forces on the rod at point O two, they will not cause any net movement of the rod. So it means there is some motor which is turning this rod. So that motor is causing a movement. So that movement will be called, you can call MO, and this will be basically movement of inertia of the rod about point O multiplied by alpha, your angular acceleration. So that way you can find the external movement at the hinge. Any problems?
No, sir.
The second problem, I took a rod. I think it has a negligible mass. all the mass is at the end. So again, you are giving this spinning velocity. This is having a angular spin. This spin velocity is about x-axis. So you have got omega si, that is your angular velocity of this disk. Okay. So what is angular momentum of this disk and the rod? So first thing is, suppose you want to find angular momentum about point O. First we want to find moment of inertia about point O and IOZZ. Suppose I want to find IOZZ. What will be IOZZ? Basically this will be ml square. You see all the mass is at the end of the rod, and what is the distance of this mass from z axis? The distance of the mass from z axis is L. So you get your moment of inertia IZZ about O as ml square. Similarly, you want to find IYY about point O. You see again the all the distance of the mass from y axis is L, so you get ml square. And if you want to find IXX about point O, it will be 0. If you are just assuming the dimensions are small, if you say dimensions are large, it has some radius r, then it will be mr square by 2. You see there is an axis passing through the about x-axis, and all the distance, you see you can find what is the moment of inertia of this rod about x-axis. That will be simply mr square by 2. Now you may say there is some problem. So when we are calculating all this, we have neglected the dimension r of this mass. Okay. Now, what is angular momentum? So, so this rod is spinning about x-axis. You have got omega s. Now, what will be the angular momentum? You have that I matrix and omega vector. Now you see this is a symmetric system. So you will assume that all product moments of inertia are 0. If all product moment of inertia are 0, so your this term will become IXX omega x plus IYY. Sorry, you have to put a comma. IZZ omega z. So this becomes your angular momentum vector. Since you have got only omega in component in x direction, your angular momentum is only IXX omega x. IXX we found was mr square by 2. And all other terms are 0. So this is your angular momentum. Now, what is the torque? You see torque or movement about external movement about point O, it has to be dl by dt, time derivative of this angular momentum. So that has to be I alpha. You see I is not changing with time. This rod is spinning about x-axis. The moment of inertia will not get affected because orientation of mass about x-axis is not changing. And whatever is the angular acceleration of this rod, so that you have to put here. So you will get your I is mr square by 2. Whatever is your alpha x, all other terms are 0 because the rod is spinning only about x-axis. So it will have angular acceleration only about axis. Your rod could have been spinning about z axis also, but that is not happening here. In that case, your IZZ would have become important. Okay, any problem? Question 3. Now you see this question I have already done in your exam, in your classes. So this coordinate system here is not attached to the mass. I have written there. It is fixed with respect to the, it is stationary with respect to the incline. So it is not moving with the mass. So I wanted you to find angular momentum about point A. Suppose point A is attached to the block. If your point A is attached to the block, then you see this entire block is translating with velocity v. So point A is also moving with velocity v. So there is no relative velocity between point A and points of the block because the block is not rotating. So if you want to find angular momentum related to the point A, so it's a relative angular momentum. We are not saying a movement of the absolute linear momentum. We are talking of movement of the relative linear momentum with respect to point A. So that will be M I R I cross V I with respect to point A. So what is your R I? Vector from particle A to point I. And this is mass of that particle I. Cross product with velocity of point I with respect to point A. Since the block is simply having a rectilinear motion, this velocity is zero. You see, it is pure translation. So there will not be any relative velocity between point I and point A. Point A is fixed to the block. So you get a relative angular momentum of the block with respect to point A as zero. Similarly, if you want to find relative angular momentum of the block with respect to centroid, again it will be zero because this block is not rotating about the centroid. There is no rotation of the block. But suppose I want it with respect to the point on the fixed point on the incline. Now this incline is a fixed point A is a fixed point on incline. Now what it will be? Mi Ri cross velocity of I with respect to point A. Now you see velocity of I with respect to point A on the incline. Since this block is having a rectilinear motion, so this block velocity is always constant. What is rectilinear motion? Pure translation. Every particle is having same displacement on the body. Otherwise, it is not pure translation. So what you will get? So this is a velocity v with which the block is sliding. And you have to do this. So what you will get? This is nothing but center of mass so this becomes your angular momentum of the block with respect to the fixed point A on the incline. Any questions? So this V is same as velocity of the centroid or velocity of the block. It's a case of pure translation. No problem. So in case you want to apply this thing I have already solved. If you want to use M is equal to I alpha, so this equation will be valid only when point A is a fixed point. Then you can use it, and this I will be about point A, or you can use it So you have to now you can't use the, you have to use dl by dt. Movement of forces about point A fixed has to be dl by dt. And what is a dl by dt? It will come from here. This is the mass. What is the derivative of this? This derivative will be, first we take the derivative of r, with that will be velocity of point G cross Vg. I am using product rule of differentiation, plus r cross acceleration of the block. So acceleration of point G will be just derivative of Vg. So this term is 0. So this equation you will use to find movement. This will be an equation of rotational motion. So you are finding movement of forces about point A fixed on the incline, and that will be this. Suppose you are using equation movement of forces about point A on the block. Now movement of the forces point A on the block. Now your movement in that you have to also take an inertial force, since point A is an accelerating point. So your equation of motion will not be ma dl by dt. So here you will have to use external forces as well as an inertial force equal to minus ma, whatever is the acceleration of the block. So you have to do r cross this minus ma, and then there is also what are the forces on the block. If you look at this, you have a gravitational force, you have a frictional force. That's all. Is there a normal force? Now this normal force, you don't know from which point it is passing. It will be passing from somewhere here. So if you are taking movement about this point A, then you have to consider the location of this normal force. You assume it is at point D. So all other forces are known. Mg, frictional force is passing through point A, so it will not contribute to the movements. So all those movements, and in addition, you have to consider an inertial force minus m. So all those movements you have to find about this point A fixed to the incline, not for fixed on the incline. So that will be for the point on the block. This is there only for the point on the block. So all these forces movement you have to take, and you have to do it equal to dLA by dt. Now NA is 0 when you have taken a point on the block, because so this will be anyway 0. So all that movement will be 0. So this you have to solve, and I think I have done it already in the class. Any questions? Now
No, sir. Yeah.
this is a bar which is spinning. You have to find a linear velocity of point A. So simply your r vector is, you have to take the vector OA. This is a point of zero velocity. So what is the absolute velocity of point A? Velocity of point A will be omega cross vector OA. What is vector OA? You can write it as AI plus BJ. Any problem with this? And your omega is omega k. Your bar is spinning about z axis. Similarly, you can find acceleration of point A. Omega cross velocity of A plus alpha cross OA. So you get normal acceleration as well as tangential acceleration. Again, you can find reaction at the support. For finding reaction at the support, you have to find acceleration of the centroid. You have to find centroid of this bar, wherever it lies. It need not lie on the bar. So how you will find the centroid of this bar? Do I have to do it? Okay. What is the centroid of this part of the rod? Centroid of this part of the rod is A by 2. Then also you need the length of this bar. Suppose both the lengths are L, then this centroid is at A by 2, and the length of both the parts will be, so take M, both will be equally heavy. This is a uniform bar, so A by 2 into M, or you can even call it M by 2. This is half of the mass, this is half of the mass, and this is at position A by 2. And the coordinate of this centroid of this is only, you have got only x coordinate. Others you take at 0. So this you have to, sorry, your M by 2 will be outside. Plus, what is the centroid of this part of the mass? So this mass is M by 2. What is the centroid? First distance is A. Second distance is B by 2. So this will give you overall centroid of the, and this you have to divide by the total mass. Any question with this? You get centroid position of this bar. Then you find acceleration of the centroid using the same approach. Instead of OA, you are using OG. If this is G, you call centroid G, this becomes OG. So this you have already found. Then you find acceleration of the centroid, and then whatever is the force on the force provided by the hinge to this.
सर एक बार इसे फिर से एक्सप्लेन कर दो सर, ये सेंट्रोइड वाला पार्ट.
Look, centroid. What is centroid of this rod? Suppose this rod is of length L on both sides. So what is the mass of this part of the rod? M by 2.
सेम बाय 2
And what is the position of the centroid middle of the bar?
सर.
And this is position is A by 2 distance along x-axis.
यस सर.
And y and z coordinate are 0, 0.
यस सर.
Okay. Now, this part of the rod is at a distance A. So centroid has to lie on this line at position
Okay,
A.
sir.
And it will be again in the middle of this bar. So y coordinate has to be b by 2. And z coordinate is 0 because this bar is in xy plane. Any problem? So both of the masses are m by 2, so you are multiplying it.
तो सर
It's
सेंट्रोइड्स का
20 by
मतलब हमने तो दोनों रोड्स का सेपरेटली लिया है और दोनों को सिर्फ ऐड करने से हमें मेन सेंट्रोइड मिल गया.
So what did you do?
मीन आप कह रहे हो कि सर हमने दोनों रॉड्स का सेपरेटली निकाला है ये सेंट्रोइड एंड उन्हें हम सिंपली ऐड कर देने से हमें मेन सेंट्रोइड मिल गया.
No, no, you have to, this is the way you do here. It is like sigma mr. This is what I have done. This is a centroid. I know centroid of this part, centroid of this part. Then you have to do a weighted average. This is just weighted average of that. You think about it, okay? So you get the force on the hinge as mass into acceleration of the centroid. Then this is another problem. I don't know if this probably bar was 5 kg. So you have to draw free body diagram of this bar. So this is some wire. So this wire can take only tension. So there is some tension here. There is weight of this block, and there is a force on the point A. You take a coordinate system. So the entire block is accelerating. This vehicle is accelerating. So you have to apply, if you just want to do free body analysis of this, you have to apply a force minus m. So this is applied in x direction. Now if we say what is the total force, you add it up. You know this angle theta. So what is the force in x direction? Ax plus t cos theta, sorry, minus t cos theta, and this entire thing is accelerating in x direction. Or you assume your coordinate system is moving along with the point A. You fix the coordinate system here. So what will happen? You have to use add a force minus m equal to 0, or you could have done just ax minus t cos theta is equal to m. There is no other force. This block is also accelerating, and you have to see the sign of this A. This A is negative. So minus ma will be like this acceleration is minus I direction. So you have to be careful with the sign. Ax and t cos theta. Again, you see t cos theta is also minus I. Ax you have taken in positive direction. So then it is all right. And what is your sigma Fy? This is sigma Fx. Sigma Fy will be t sin theta minus mg. Mg is downwards. Ay you have taken upwards. This is equal to 0. And then you do movement balance. Movement equilibrium equation. You take movement of all the forces about point G and Ig alpha. Now you see, since this bar is not rotating, so alpha is 0, and you have taken movement of forces about point G. So what is the movement of forces? This t cos theta is causing a counterclockwise. It is going like this. It is causing clockwise twist about point G. So you get minus t cos alpha, and this distance is L by 2. Okay. Force Ax is also causing a clockwise twist. Plus Ax L by 2. Sorry, minus. Twist is clockwise. Is there any other force? And this minus ma is acting on the centroid. So it will anyway not contribute to movement about the centroid. So this has to be 0 because this bar is not rotating. So this is another equation. So you have got 3 equations and you can solve the unknowns. Any questions?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So the equation of equilibrium along Fx, the direction of ma will be opposite or it will be like this?
It will be opposite to the direction of this A. A is accelerating to the left.
It will be, sir, opposite to t cos theta, right? Because t cos theta is in the direction of acceleration.
I tell you, this is the acceleration. That's the end of the story. Hello. Can we talk later? Can we talk later? So acceleration is left to the left. So this bar is accelerating to the left. So inertial force has, if you assume the bar is stationary, you assume a coordinate system fixed to the wall, to this block, then you have to consider an inertial force to the right. Any doubt about it? You see, you take a mass. The mass is m. It is accelerating to the right. So there has to be some force acting on it. F is equal to ma. Now, if you want to write it like a static equilibrium situation, then you have to do F minus ma is equal to 0. So now you are handling it from a frame which is accelerating to the left, to the right with acceleration a. Now your reference frame is fixed to the mass itself. Now with respect to this frame, this mass is stationary. But how will you analyze that there is a force F? External force is F, and you impose an additional force, inertial force minus ma. Then this is the equation, Newton's law for an accelerating frame of reference, and is equal to mass into acceleration related to this reference frame, which is 0. So you get back the same equation as before. I think there cannot be any doubt about this. Now this is another problem. You have a rod spinning between the bearings. You have the bearings. This is some disc on the rod. Now, if this disc has a centroid at the axis of the rod is spinning about this axis, then you see there is no offset. So what will be the acceleration of this centroid? You see rod is spinning about this axis. So centroid is here. So what is the distance of the centroid from the axis? 0. So omega square r will be 0 because this offset is 0. So centroid is located at the axis. Centroid of this disk. It is a balanced disk. So this will not cause any. So acceleration of the centroid is 0. So there is no force required for this disk to spin. It will keep spinning. Now suppose this centroid is at this position E. So once the centroid is at this position E, towards this center, there will be a force, centripetal force. So that centripetal force will be given by m omega square E. E is this distance from the axis. Now what will provide this force? See, at this point of time, now this is rotating in the centroid will be rotating in a circular motion. So it will have a position which will change with time. So this is your vector r, which is the vector from the of the point G from the axis, will have coordinates in y and z direction. It will have some y and z coordinates. So what you have to do? Omega I cross omega I cross this yj plus zk. So this cross you have to take. This will be called acceleration of point G. So this is a normal acceleration. You assume this bar is spinning, the shaft is spinning at constant angular velocity. So you get your normal acceleration or total acceleration of point G, centroid of the your disk. Now you see this I cross J will give you K component, I cross K will give you J component. Again you have got I cross K, you will get a J component, I cross J, K component. So you're getting acceleration in YZ plane. Okay. Suppose at that point your this G was located vertically upwards. That is also possible because the shaft is spinning. For that position, you will have only a force coming downwards. This acceleration will be only downwards. So suppose there is an acceleration downwards. So there has to be some force coming from the bearings. F is equal to mass into acceleration of the centroid. So the bearing is applying a force in this direction. There is a net force coming from the bearings in this direction. And as the shaft keeps spinning, you will see this force will keep rotating in your YZ plane. Whatever is the direction. Suppose this direction is like this. Your acceleration of the centroid is like this. So accordingly, forces from the bearings, they will also keep changing direction. So this shaft will be rocking in the bearings. You will get a rocking noise. Okay. So that was one question. Then now this is another question. You see what is happening here. You have a rotor spinning about this axis, Z axis, and this rotating platform is also there. This platform is spinning about a vertical axis. Now when this rotor is rotating about this Z axis, now you have a coordinate system fixed to the rotor. So what is the angular velocity of the rotor? what is omega sk? This is spinning about z axis plus this platform is also rotating. So the entire this coordinate system is rotating. This entire rotor is also rotating about this vertical axis y. Now, what is this d omega by dt? Now this, you see this coordinate system x, y, z. Is rotating about, because of this rotation of the platform, it is rotating about y axis. So you will say, you will use this relation omega p j cross whatever is this angular velocity. This angular velocity is this. So you have omega sk plus omega p j. And what is this equal to? J cross j goes to 0. J cross k is I. So this is alpha for this angular velocity of this rotor. Similarly, you can find angular momentum of this rotor. So that you use this relation I omega. And you see now your coordinate system is fixed to the rotor. So your I xx, I yy, I zz, they are not changing. Even though this rotor is rotating about y axis and also it is spinning about z axis. So anyway, when it spins about z axis, your Iz is not changing. So you will get, and this is a symmetric body, you don't have any product movement of inertia. So this will become Ixx omega x plus Iyy omega y plus Izz omega z. This is your angular momentum vector for this rotor. You know Ixx. What will be Ixx? It will be something like, if this length is L, ml square by 12. What will be your Iyy? You see it is about this axis. Again it will be ml square by 12. And what will be your Izz? It is about this axis. So this will be mr square by 2. This is r radius. So you have to see if there is some mess in what I am telling. Omega x, omega y, omega z you already know. Omega x is 0. It is not talking of any rotation about x-axis. Omega y is omega p. The entire thing is rotating about this platform. Omega z is omega s. And then you have to find dl by dt. What is dl by dt? Now you see, you are not talking of any change in angular velocity. So whatever angular momentum is, it is changing because of the rotation of your coordinate system. You have some fixed body here, and you see this is a rotating platform, and this coordinate system is rotating with angular velocity omega. So you have to just do omega p cross vector L, and you will get time derivative of this angular momentum. And this has to be equal to the torque applied. What is the torque applied? The torque applied will come from the support onto this rotor. So there have to be some forces here. If you just try to find what is the torque applied, here omega p is omega pj cross omega x is 0, Iyy omega y. So Iyy I told you omega So J term anyway will not contribute, so we are not calculating. IZZ omega S. IZZ is MR square by 2. So what do you get? Omega P, omega S. J cross K is I, MR square by 2. So this is your this term dl by dt. This is what I calculated. Omega P cross L. So this is, you see, about I axis. So you are expecting a movement about I axis. So if you have got reactions like this, so these are your reactions. So you see your reaction is vertical. Here vertical. This distance is about z axis, and you are assuming this distance as L. Suppose this distance is L. You call it L2. So if this is vertical force is Fy, so this is causing a clockwise twist, you see, and so you are expecting a counterclockwise movement. So the forces have to be in the other direction. So Fy into L will be equal to this movement omega P omega S mr square by 2. This dl by dt will be equal to this. So you will be able to get the reaction from the support. And there are other reactions which is just because of the static weight. So that you have to add to these reactions. So this way you get the reactions coming on the from the support. Any questions? So I think this was all about the exam. So you look at the, see, when you do the full length answer, try to work out whether you are reaching the right answers. If there is still any discrepancy, I will look at it. Any questions?
No, sir, clear.
No, sir.